Welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, your weekly dose of strategies and mindset tools to build a business in alignment with your purpose and get you playing a bigger game. I'm your host, Nicole Lano. Hello and welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and we are here with, it's just you and me today. And this is something I have heard over and over again, and I want to address it. So let me know if you've heard this before. Have you ever heard the statement, you don't get what you want in life, you get what you identify as? This is something in the personal development world that is a very well-known type of direction that they give people. Or maybe if you haven't heard that specific thing, maybe you have done a lot of identity work. Who am I? How do I see myself? And you've done a lot of work around that. And maybe you've done that work and you haven't seen a shift. Now, there's actually a reason and a particular element of your human design chart that might lead to why that hasn't worked for you. And it's why that statement that I mentioned, that we don't get what we want in life, we get what we identify as, isn't actually true for everyone. Or it is, but it can be actually kind of damaging to some people, depending on your chart. So identity work can actually be the right or the wrong way, something very important for you to do, or something that's actually damaging for you to do, depending on your human design chart. So I did a lot of identity work in the beginning. I did, and I still do, because in my chart, it's supported for me to do that. But I remember finding this out when I started to work with human design, and I thought about how many people were being taught the wrong way and how damaging that can be, that it's actually deeply, deeply conditioning. Because what happens is you do the identity work and it just doesn't work for you. That it has to be done differently. And this is why teaching and coaching through human design is so powerful, because we can look at the chart and we can say, oh, you're this way, so you should do it this way. Oh, and you're this way, you should do it this other way. And that's why it's so powerful, why you can get results with the same techniques with tweaks, as opposed to it all being a one size fits all. So this element that we're talking about of the human design chart is the G center, which is the diamond shape in the center of the body graph. So if we're going from the top, from the center and the top down, you have the head center, the ajna center, the throat center, and then the G center. Not to be confused with the other G thing. It's the G center. The G center is right in the center of the chest. It looks like it is connected. It looks very much like the spot where the heart center would be in the Hindu chakra system. Only in human design, we have a 9 center. We have 9 centers instead of 7. So we actually see this as this is the G center. And then we also have the ego will heart center, which is off to the side of it. But we're focusing on that one in the center, the diamond shape in the center. Now, the G center is the center of love, self-love, identity, purpose, and direction. It is the center that says, this is who I am. It is the center it's the center that says, I love myself. I know where I'm going. I know the direction. I know my purpose. That it comes internally from me if I have it defined. If you have that center colored in, you have a very different experience of the knowing of yourself than you do than someone who has that center undefined. Somebody who has that white in their chart, to tell that person they need to know where they're going, who they're going to be, how they're going to get there, see that purpose, see that direction, and lock onto it and hold that, can be incredibly damaging, because where we're white in the chart, we experience things in a variable way. I mean, we experience it one way one day and it's gone the next. You might not feel it at all. You might not feel purpose at all the next day. You might not feel, if you have that center open, these themes are going to come and go for you. They're going to shift and change depending on where you are. depending on who you are around, the environment that you're in. Now, this is a beautiful center. Having this open, it is not a hindrance to your ability to envision your future. It isn't a hindrance. It's actually, you're not going to be locked into anything. It's going to be so fluid for you. It's going to be open, and your ability to change can be huge, as long as people aren't telling you that you have to know these things and it needs to stay the same and it needs to be really, really solid, which would cause you then, because this is what conditioning does. Someone tells you you should be a certain way, you should do something a certain way. It is hard for you, impossible for you, or it doesn't work, or it feels terrible, and you force yourself to do it and it continues to not work. And then you think something's wrong with you. That's basically how conditioning works. And the way that we decondition is someone tells you to do something and you say, nope, that's not how I work. Without guilt, without shame, without apologizing for it. You're just like, thank you for your advice. I appreciate that. That sounds like something that is wonderful for you, and I'm happy that it worked for you. I don't believe that that is the correct path for me, because I make my choices and I know my design and I know how I'm built and I know what is and what is not correct for me. So the G center, this center, why it's so important, it might be outside of it's hard to say what centers are the most important. The ones that I'm working with tend to be the most important at the time. And it depends on your chart and your life. But this one I come back to over and over and over again. This one I come back to, I'm always tuning that G center, because the G center is the home of what we call the magnetic monopole. This is the center of your heart's resonance. So if you have gotten into heart math or understanding heart coherence and the vibration that comes from your heart center, this is all coming from this place in your body graph. This is coming from that G center. So the vibration that you're sending out, you're tuning that heart resonance, your heart's energy, to a specific frequency. Now, if you have it open, it's going to move, it's going to change. If you have it defined, it's going to be pretty solid on that thing, for better or for worse. If you have a negative identity of yourself, then that's what you're going to be sending out. If you have this negative idea about your identity, if you have an identity like that you struggle, that is what you will get. That statement will probably be true for you. You don't get what you want, you get what you identify as. That is a G center. That is a defined G center statement. Someone where it comes internally from you. If you have it defined, it comes internally from you. So the magnetic monopole, what it does is that's your magnet. This is the magnet that only attracts, it only pulls things to you. When it's in alignment with what you want, you get what you want. Things just start coming to you. And this is why working with your human design and understanding how to work with your chart, and specifically with this center, depending on the way that it's configured in your chart, the gates that are configured, the channels that you have there, if any, all of this is so important to your attraction field. And this is how it gets to be easy. This is another piece in the puzzle of how we get to realign our life and make things easier for us, rather than thinking that we can only get what we produce. We can only get what we put out into the world. So we're running around all the time, not thinking about what we're attracting with. So this magnetic monopole, this magnet that is attracting things to us, when it's in alignment, whether you're defined or undefined, it's doing this. You were attracting all the time. It's just how we do it and how we tune it. That G center is attracting, that magnet is attracting either exactly what you want because it's tuned to what you want, or it's attracting lessons to you. It's in alignment however you identify, however you see yourself. Or if it's open, it's attracting in a different way. It's attracting based on where you are. And it's about learning to work with this. So no matter what is happening And whether you're defined or undefined, working with this center so it is tuned to what you want and not with what you don't want. You do not want this center tuned to struggle, to lessons, to identities and ways of being that you are looking to shed. But this is the thing that doesn't lie. I always say, like, your words lie, your actions can lie, but your energy never does. You might say one thing, you might be doing a bunch of stuff, but if you are energetically in a place, that is what you will get. You will get that. And so there's different ways that we tune this. There's different ways that we tune to a frequency. So it's the same way that if you were in a car and you tune your radio to station 100.3, then that signal out, that 100.3, that frequency is out in the air, and now it's coming into your car because you tuned your car to that frequency. That is exactly what's happening with the magnetic monopole. You're tuning your frequency to a certain station. Is it the station that you want? And how we tune it is different for the defined and different for the undefined. There's a different way that we approach it. Same outcome, same thing that we're doing. We're just going to approach it a different way so that it's supportive in both environments. And there's different tools that you can use for that. But I wanted to bring this up because this has come up. I've had a lot of people come into my world through readings, and through this podcast, coming to me and in my networks, where they have an undefined G center and they have been doing identity work, and it has been very, very damaging, or they've felt really disoriented or less than because of this openness that they have. And this can be an incredible gift. My goodness, the ability to reflect back, because where we're open, we reflect. Where we're open, we feel the other. We know about the other. To be able to cleanly reflect back without feeling shame, guilt, or feeling like you should be any other way, to know the difference between you and the other person, and to be able to show them who they really are under the surface, to be able to feel that, what a powerful gift. Particularly if you're in the coaching space, if you are in the personal development space, if you work with people on things like that, what a gift. But you have to clean it first. It has to be in a healthy expression first. You have to want it to be exactly what it is. That's why I did an episode a couple of episodes ago. I wish I knew what it was, but I can't remember. I did an episode where I talked about, I talked about the biggest breakthrough for me with deconditioning, which was about being able to love my openness and see it as my greatest gift, and to trust my definition. If you haven't listened to that episode, I think it was like episode 124. It was a Monday episode. It was a shorty. But that was profound for me. And if you can live that, really, really amazing things start to happen. And particularly with this center, because this is the one, it's strategy and authority. And then you come to this one. And if you can tune this one, you will start attracting at a very, very fast rate. You'll start getting the things that you want rather than the lessons that will help you course correct. Because remember, the universe is bringing to us what we need in order to get the thing that we say that we want. So we're attracting all the time. And when we get a lesson, if we handle the lesson where we've really learned it and we're able to move past it, then we no longer attract that thing. So that's what's happening here. We're either attracting lessons or we're attracting what we want. And it comes from, did we really learn that lesson? Or did we just have that experience, that circumstance, but we remained the same? The G center is a huge part of testing whether that is true, whether you really learned the lesson. If you did, you won't get it again. And it comes from here. So this is really amazing work. And if you have this center undefined, just know that identity work, if you've done it and it hasn't gone well, it's not you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. This is an amazing gift. Um, it's just something that can be difficult to work with because most of what you're told is contrary to the way that you're built. But an example of how an open G center, so I mean, forget about it. If you're an actor or if you're in any sort of performing or working with people in this way, Tom Hanks has the center completely open. And when I look at him, I'm like, he becomes every role, just becomes it, just shows up and is just like so immersed where he's completely different in every single role. And he completely embodies it. Why? Because his sense of identity does not come from within him, it comes from where he is. So when you plant him in the middle of a scene, in the middle of a movie, in the middle of a life, he can fully take it up without having to think about, is this me or is this not me? It's him wherever he is. Can you get comfortable there? And if you can, what a ride. How amazing. I have the center defined, so I have a different experience. My identity comes from within me. So that's part of my work. But I look at that all the time and I'm like, how, if you can clean that out, how fun. What a beautiful, beautiful way to experience life if you're not letting it send you into a tailspin or knock you on your tushy, because I'm sure it's a lot. I'm sure it is a lot. But I hope you found this helpful. I do have a couple of announcements that I want to throw out here to you. One is we have a contest. We have a cool little contest going on for the month of January, and we might continue this where what I'd like to do, what I'm going to start doing is having people on this show where you get a mini reading. So the contest is if you enter into this contest, you get a chance to win a mini reading coaching session on the show. You'll come on, you will get your own episode, so you get to highlight yourself, what you do, get your name out there, and whatever your expertise is, speak about it to our audience here. And you also get to come. You can come in and say, like, I'm having this issue. I am experiencing this. This is something that I haven't been able to get past. Is there anything in my chart, or is there anything in the chart that maybe would help me course correct, or that's jumping out? Or you can come and just want to hear, like, what are the most important things about my chart? I'm just starting out. I'd like to know more. Whatever it is that you would like, you can come here and you get a little 30-minute episode where you can come on and we run through your chart together. And you get to steer that a bit. The way that you enter this contest, super simple. If you are a fan of the show and you want to be on it, I'm assuming you are. If you want to be on this, then you would go to iTunes and you would leave a review for this show. And you would tell everybody that you love it and why you love it. Then you will take a little screenshot of that review and you will post it in your Instagram stories. And you will tag me at Nicole Lano Official. And that is your entry. You're all done. If you do that, my team will be taking down each of those posts so that we have them, and then we will draw the winner at the end of the month, and we will reach out to you and schedule that with you. Um, if you would like to enter that, so that is exactly how you do it. Super, super simple. We will also put all of these details in the show notes for you. So if you didn't catch all of that, just please go back. No worries. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM, be like, I want to enter. What do I do? Happy to assist there. And then we also have 2 free guides for you. Both of them kind of relate to this episode, so I'll drop them both here. We have a deconditioning guide, which will be super helpful, particularly for this episode. If you're an open G center, you'll want to do this. But the deconditioning guide covers all of the centers. Go to nicolelano.me/decondition, and that is a free guide, completely free to you. Just sign up there and you can download it. And then we also have a productivity guide, or as I like to call it, a flowductivity guide. This is how to teach you how to use your design to be more productive, to experience less resistance, if any, but while remaining in flow and ease. So it's not just about getting more done, although you will. It's how you can get more done, how you can be more creative, how you can experience the flow state by harnessing your human design. And this is a really big guide. This one, I got a little carried away with this one. It's like 19 pages. It's huge. It's like more like an ebook than a guide. So please go download that at nicoleleno.me/productivity. And we will also link all of this up in the show notes for you. So we have you covered there. But if you just want to type those in, they're kind of decondition or productivity. My website /decondition or /productivity. And you can get either of those guides or both. I hope you love this. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you download the guides. I hope you enter the contest. I hope I get to do a little reading with you on the show. If you want a full reading, a whole reading, you can certainly go to my website at nicoleleno.me, and you can see where there'll be something there to show you. The work with me section shows you how to book a reading if you'd like to have a full reading, or if you want to dive deep and you want to work with me for an extended period of time on realigning your entire business and life by your human design, your offers, your sales system, your life, the way that you relate to your kids, your clients, your friends, your spouse. We do all of that inside the Limitless Entrepreneur Program. If you're interested in more information on that, it's on my website, but you can certainly DM me on Instagram, and I will be happy to fill you in on any of the details you're looking for.
If you loved this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you want to stay in touch with us, we would love to have you as a part of our Facebook community, Practical Manifestors. It's a community for process-driven women looking for clear and actionable steps to embodying a life of wealth and alignment. Join us at Practical Manifestors in Facebook, or go to www.innerceogroup.com.